AEW presents All Out 0 Hour.
Professional wrestling in Canada have always gone hand in hand, from the insane fan base across the country to some of the best and most renowned athletes to ever put on a pair of boots. We bring AEW to Scotiabank Arena, home to Austin Matthews and the boys in blue. But tonight, it is all about AEW. We've got championships, we've got rivalries, we've got friendships coming together, and today we've got RJ City joining us here, hanging out. And enough about you. We've also got the best professional wrestler in the world, turned best analyst in the world, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
How long is it going to take us to go off the rails?
Oh, not long. So here's the deal. I don't prepare anything when I know that Bryan is here, because I know that there's no point. I don't need this. He's going to take this thing off the rails and be talking about something that has nothing to do with All Out, which is the entire reason that we are here. Feel good about it?
Yes.
You just shoehorned that in.
Well, that's what you told me to do.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being out here to provide some analysis for us. How do we watch?
If you're in the United States, you can watch All Out for the first time ever on HBO Max. You can also watch on YouTube, Prime Video, PPV.com, in demand through traditional cable and satellite providers, and Brian, Dave, and Buster's. Toronto's boys are home for the first time in a very long time. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage reunite in Toronto to take on FTR.
FTR said they are out to end the career of Cope.
You put me on the shelf for 4 months that I don't have.
At Forbidden Door, we took care of my problem. Now it's time to take care of Adam's problem.
And when we drag you into the deep water and you're begging for mercy, you will understand why. There is only one Copeland Cage.
Cage and Cope.
10 world championships over 7 different brands. We are one of one. For you, this is a dream match. Yes, sir. You are now in the discussion of being one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Well, welcome to the club. We've been here for 25 years. It's time that I take my pound of flesh.
6 years ago, we helped you get your career back.
FTR, Cage, and Cope. Toronto,
We take it away for good.
You're dead men.
Cope and Cage, that's your fate. It's your fault.
Dead men.
Cope and Christian versus FTR. This has been going on for some time, but what do you think we're going to see with Cope and Christian tonight?
So I don't know. I mean, my big thing is, can Copeland trust Christian? We know FTR can trust each other, right?
Sure.
And it's a matter of, okay, is Christian going to really put himself out there? We saw at Forbidden Door, Christian wouldn't get in the ring with Luchasaurus, right? And so it's like, is he going to, if things start going bad, is he just going to leave? Is he going to stick around?
Things are already bad.
But don't you feel like when you have so much history with someone and you're finally getting to see these two back in tag action again, do you think that they're just going to be firing on all cylinders right off the bat? It's going to take them some time to warm up together?
I think it's going to take them some time, and FTR, in my mind, is one of the best tag teams in the world, right? And they're firing on all cylinders right now, you know? So it'll be interesting, but you also have to think, like Copeland, he had the same relationship with Christian that he had with FTR before.
True.
And then, okay, in 10 years, is he just going to want to get back with FTR again? You know, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. You have to accept people as they are, and I feel like Copeland is projecting onto Christian a guy that he used to be 15 years ago.
That's a really good point. He's kind of moved on. It's not the same Christian from back in their days here in Toronto getting started. There's got to be some of those feel-good moments bubbling up to the surface for them, though, to be back here in Toronto. What do you mean, no?
Last time they were in Toronto, they had hockey jerseys on and they were punching each other in the head. Those are not feel-good moments. May I make an analogy?
Please, go for it.
Have you ever made love with someone that you don't really like, but somehow it ignites the fire that makes it better? I think that's where Copeland and Christian are right now. Their dissonance will create a very effective tag.
I'd be interested to live RJ RJ's life for
Well,
maybe
you
just
and I
a week.
have both been married for a long, not to each other, to other individuals.
Congrats, you two.
Yeah.
But we'll live vicariously through you. You can tell us all
Yes,
about
a lot
that.
of people don't like me.
Yeah.
But speaking of Christian, he's always said he's accepted that
Yes.
people don't like him.
He hasn't always said that. He's recently said that, but not as much of an as he is now, right? In the
Sure.
last couple of years, right?
Leaning
And so
into it.
what
Comes with
Copeland is
age.
doing is he's projecting onto Christian the idea of who he used to be when Christian is acknowledging that he's changed. And he's trying to tell him, it's like going back to the relationship analogy.
Yeah.
It's like your partner is trying to tell you, this is what I want. And you're saying like, no. When we first met, you wanted this. And you're like, so I'm gonna give you that. And it's like, no, that's not what I want anymore. This is what I want now. And so that's what I feel like is happening with Adam Copeland and Christian. And what I think is gonna happen is FTR is going to take advantage of that dissonance that you talked about. And my prediction, FTR wins.
DraftKings is an official partner of AEW. Right now, all customers can join a free-to-play pool for our all-out pay-per-view. Simply answer questions about the main event. Get enough right to earn your share of the prize. Download the DraftKings app now. Sign up with the promo code AEW to play free. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I feel like no matter which way you look at this, Cope and Christian back together in Toronto, all out. It's all happening this afternoon on pay-per-view. I feel good about it. You feel good about it?
Nope.
You feel good about
I
it?
don't feel good about any.
Well, listen, I feel great about that. I'll tell you a thing that I don't feel so great about. This afternoon on pay-per-view, it will be Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley in a coffin match. You win this match by putting your opponent inside the coffin and sealing the lid shut. I don't feel great about this.
No one has more reverence for Darby Allin than me. Nobody loves Darby Allin like I do.
You said Bryan Danielson was a brother to you. He was family. What did you do to Bryan Danielson?
Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin is a problem. He had to get taken off the board, and he needs to go away.
Top of the world, Mount Everest, Jon Moxley, coming down to take everything from you.
Since he didn't succeed in getting himself killed on Mount Everest, he's back in AEW and he's messing with me.
You know, I looked up to you, John. Why? Because you weren't this ego-driven wrestler that never wants to be out of the spotlight. The moment you turn your back on Danielson, my trust for you is broken and I want to be nothing like you anymore.
Darby Allin must be destroyed. No other choice. Take everything! No problem. I will solve you. I'm gonna put you in the ground.
I'm going to put a nail in this whole thing. Coffin match. I'm going to put an end to this once and for all.
It's gonna hurt real bad, what I have to do.
If you want to burn AEW to the ground, don't be surprised when I pull you into the fire.
Matches like this always make me a little bit uncomfortable. As a claustrophobic person, it makes me uncomfortable. Knowing that my husband is participating in a match of this ilk makes me uncomfortable. Brian, you've been in a situation like this before. Talk to me about what it's like being in a coffin match, knowing what it could feel like to have your fate literally sealed.
Yeah, so it is uncomfortable, right? It's it actually gives you a whole new perception on life and death and all these other sorts of fun things. But in speaking about making things uncomfortable, this is something because you and I, this is the first time that we've been on camera since your husband did to me what he did to me.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel uncomfortable at all that John and I have known each other longer than you guys have known each other, right? And that he is completely willing to just sever that relationship on a moment's notice just because he's feeling differently about what he wants in life. Does that make you uncomfortable?
It makes me uncomfortable in a sense of conversations that John and I were having after the moment that you guys had. It made me uncomfortable leading up to before that all happened. But, you know, I think my husband is my husband, and I stand by my husband essentially no matter what he's doing. But yes, it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable that I have my relationship with you that's separate from what you have with John, and I want to have a working relationship with you. I'm friends with your wife. That makes that uncomfortable.
And we can't go over to your house anymore. Our kids can't play together
Sure,
anymore.
of
all
course
those sorts of
those
things.
things
But
make it
the
uncomfortable.
thing about Mox being willing to burn everything to the ground to get the goal that he wants, I think suits him well in these coffin matches. In a match like this, right, where there is nothing off limits in this. All you have to do to win this match is get the other man in the coffin, close it, seal it.
Well,
right?
to the point of you just saying all you have to do is put your opponent, that's no easy feat.
No. What I'm saying is there are no other rules that he has to follow.
Sure.
His willingness to, like I said, burn everything to the ground to accomplish his goals, I think really suits him in this situation.
There's also, I mean, if you simply wanted to look at the tail of the tape between Darby and John, I think physically putting Darby inside the coffin seems a little bit easier than somebody the size of John. John's a very large man in comparison to Darby.
I don't agree at all. Darby has been staring death in the face for a very long time, climbed Mount Everest, as you discussed with him, extensively, and he did that to prove it to himself. Darby is a guy, Mox said, the fly that wouldn't go away. He keeps coming back and coming back. You could maybe get him in that coffin, but I don't think Mox can close the lid.
Some of the other factors of the Death Riders, we've got Marina Shafir, we've got Wheeler Yuta, now Daniel Garcia in the mix, of course Claudio Castagnoli, but to have somebody like Garcia now in the mix, I think at one point John was considering wanting Darby to be in the mix with him in this situation, and that's essentially how we've come to a head here between John and Darby. John wants to add to his group, but Darby not wanting to participate in that. Looking at what John's been able to accumulate with the Death Riders, I mean, do you think that Garcia made a good choice?
So I essentially, when I saw what happened, it seemed like this to me the entire time I've been in AEW. Daniel Garcia is just looking for a cult to be a part of, right? And it's been like that ever since I've been here, right? First it was with the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Sure.
He toyed around with the idea of being with the BCC. John is a very charismatic cult leader. And I don't know what that says about you, but
I don't really know what that says about me either.
It does remind me, though, of Wrestle Dream. When you wrestled Mox, it was your last match, and then outside the ring, it was Garcia, and it was Darby, and I remember Darby saying that Mox was his hero. He was a locker room leader. He kind of still is. He leads out front. He's just doing it with a lot of heartless violence.
He's also, we talk about what John desires, right? What Mox desires, because he talked about not needing the title to have power. Right? And it's almost like he's become more violent, more sadistic since he's lost the title than he was before. And I kind of wonder somebody like Daniel Garcia, if he sees how effective Mox has been and the Death Riders have been since he's lost the title. And, you know, Daniel Garcia, he lost the TNT title. He was kind of hit a rough patch. And he's, you know, when you have that kind of ambition, you want to be the best, you're willing to do some strange and crazy things. You know, the one thing I worry about in this match for Darby is Mox has all the Death Riders behind him.
Big numbers game.
Nobody has really come to Darby's aid when he's needed help.
Darby certainly come to other people's aid.
Yeah, he certainly has, yeah.
Came down from the ceiling along with you.
Yeah.
Mox has made a lot of enemies, but now maybe Darby is left on his own.
Yeah.
Do you have any final predictions of how this is going to go? Who's going to be in that coffin, lid sealed, fate sealed, walking out of All Out?
I'm almost not as worried about that as I am worried about what they're going to have to do to each other to get each other in those coffins.
Likewise.
My heart is with Darby in this match. I would really like, you know, there's the animosity that I have towards Mox and the Death Riders, but given that everything Darby has done and knowing that he's probably going to be fighting this battle on his own, my heart goes with Darby.
Your heart's with Darby, but where's your head at?
I don't want to say.
Okay, well, we will find this all out live on pay-per-view. Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley, a coffin match. It is a four-way matchup for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm versus Chris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter versus Tekla, who will be walking away with the gold. We find out this afternoon.
I am Toni Storm, the director of the motion picture you're about to see. It is for mature audiences only, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it too. I remain a woman in search of her murder.
Timeless Toni Storm. The queen of the silver screen. The reign may be endless.
Every woman with a pulse. Step up. Every month, the risks get more reckless. Do you want to get nuts? And now she's hired 3 ladies on the hunt for her most prized possession. Time up your tits and let's tango! The British Brute, seeking redemption for years against all those who took that belt from her hands. The specimen from outer space, whose broken friendships left her lost at a moral fork in the road. And the Austrian spider. That's one crazy bitch. 4 women, 4 wild worlds, and only one goal to hold. I am a woman in search of her murder. The time, this Saturday. The place, All Out. Jamie Hayter. Chris Statlander. Tekla. And did you expect somebody else? Timeless Toni Storm in 4 Ways to Die. May the best woman live.
Toni Storm has been up for a fight since day one, but now to put her championship on the line in a 4-way matchup where the champion does not need to be pinned or submitted in order for the title to change hands. And against some huge powerhouses, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, Tekla. Now, this is Tekla's first opportunity at the Women's Championship. What is your take on Tekla since she stepped in here in AEW?
I think she's been tremendously impressive since coming to AEW, and I think it was really smart of her to align with Sky Blue and Julia. I mean, the Triangle of Madness has been very effective. Incredible dexterity, incredible ability to know when to ratchet up the intensity and when to take it back down, when to take a little bit of a break so that she has the burst when she needs to hit it hard. But like you mentioned before, Toni Storm does not need to be pinned in this match. And I think that's a huge advantage for Tekla, and especially with the stuff that we've seen with Jamie Hayter and Statlander and all that kind of stuff. You know, I think there's going to be some openings for Tekla in this match.
For Jamie Hayter, I mean, she is somebody who's been in and around the championship conversation basically since she's been here in AEW. She, of course, was sidelined with injury, back in action now. What do you think, Jamie? What can she bring to the table to do things a little bit differently to walk away with gold?
I mean, she won the AEW World Championship from Toni Storm before anyone thought she was ever going to get it. I think she lost it back quite quickly. She says that she never really lost it. It was stolen. She was injured. And then at All In, Wembley, she came back. And the only thing on her mind was working her way up and getting back at the people that had wronged her. And she was well on her way, but she never got to Toni Storm. She got injured again, and then she was in the Owen, and of course she lost to Mercedes. So she's going to have to put a lot of pieces together, even though it's clearly on her mind.
Well, Chris Statlander is such an interesting one, too, because, again, I mean, you feel like you can just feel that swell from the fans. Everyone loves Chris Statlander. They're waiting for her to have that huge moment. See her finally win the AEW Women's World Championship. She is a former TBS champion.
My opinion, she is physically the best female wrestler here in AEW. But mentally, she can't put it together. So at least not yet.
What is it about piecing those things together and at the right time to get that success?
Well, it's about getting rid of all these distractions. It's about getting rid of, okay, you know, Wheeler Yuta wants me to join the Death Riders. Oh, my thing with Willow. Oh, you have to set all of that aside when you come out here and focus 100% on winning. And when it's a four-way like this, where anybody can be pinned and it doesn't mean that you're getting pinned. You don't have to be pinned to lose the match, right? So she can be distracted for just a split second and lose the match and not win the AEW Women's Championship, all because she's not mentally focused. I think that's going to be Statlander's downfall in this match. It's not 25% odds for each woman in this match.
No.
I don't think it is at all. I think by far, out of the 4 women in this match, Statlander is the least likely to win.
Also, keep in mind, the 4-ways are inherently no disqualification. So we've got the Triangle of Madness. We have Yuta and Marina lurking wherever Stat is. Does Jamie Hayter have any friends? Luther's been taken out. Something happened to his crotch. I can't go into it right now. But Toni Storm is completely alone, too.
Okay, well, let's talk about Toni Storm, because you want to talk about the focus in being, as prepared for this match as one possibly could be. Of course, she has the biggest disadvantage coming into this match as a champion. But you want to talk about that focus. I feel like we have not seen Toni Storm miss steps.
I think she's the counter argument to Statlander. She is so locked in on that title, and I think you have to be a little nuts to be champion. She always says she's a woman in search of her murder, and she called this match because she wanted to test herself. That's how locked in she is, that she's constantly taking bigger and bigger risks. But one time, and it's probably this afternoon, it may backfire.
All right, who's walking out the winner?
I think Tekla.
Ooh, wow, wild card.
And the reason why is because of the Triangle of Madness. With this rule set, I think it bodes well for Tekla.
Okay, RJ?
Chris Statlander hasn't had a title shot in 4 years. It is now or never.
Brian says she's got the least likely chance.
Yeah, I just think she's mentally not there. She's got too many other distractions. One of the things, in talking about Toni Storm, she's been champion for 7 months now. It would break my heart if she lost this match without getting pinned, if she lost her title that way.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we will find out this afternoon. It is all going down, but sticking with the ladies, we go from the AEW Women's World Championship to the TBS Championship. We've got Mercedes Mone in action against Riho, who is the most focused at this point in their career. And of course, we got to talk Mercedes Mone, 9-belt Mone, the TBS champion, to be walking into this match against Riho. The odds still must favor Mercedes with this. I mean, you want to talk about somebody being on their game. Mercedes is ever the fighting champion. Do you think that Riho stands a chance?
Here's where I think Riho could potentially pull this off. I think she's a huge underdog in this match. One of the reasons why is because she broke her wrist well over a year ago, hadn't wrestled until we saw her a couple weeks ago on Dynamite, right? One of the things, and I've felt this when I was grappling or doing jiu-jitsu or whatever it is that you don't know what she's been working on in her time off, right? If she hasn't developed some new techniques or whatever it is in this match against Mercedes Mone.
And as the very first AEW women's champion, of course, she knows what it feels like to be at the top, to be holding it down in the women's division. But to have that time off and to be able to step back in, we've seen her back in the ring. But how long does it take to really feel like your best self?
That's a hard thing to gauge because it's different for everybody. And this is the thing I would do if I were Mercedes. I would let this match draw out a little bit. I wouldn't take any chances in case you put yourself in a weird position that she can take advantage of, because I think from a time perspective, Mercedes has put in the work, right? Not only has she done everything that she's done in AEW with the TBS Championship, but she's gone to other promotions. She's traveled all over the world.
She's not taking days off.
She's not taking days off.
Okay, wait a minute. If I may criticize Mercedes a little, I think she's more interested in winning titles and breaking that Ultimo Dragon record, as you discussed with her, than she is defending them.
I don't think that's true, because with the TBS Championship, you've seen her go up against the best of the best here in AEW, and she's been successful every time for over a year, right? I think a lot of people think that, oh, Mercedes just wants to come out and dance or do her thing. I think that that's a misconception of Mercedes. I think she comes out and she does that, and people underestimate her because she's somebody who, despite making millions of dollars, being the CEO CEO of her own life, right? And just being incredible. When she gets off of work, when she gets off that plane, she goes home and trains.
Yes.
Right? She goes and she busts her ass. And she's not afraid. She's not afraid to go to Poland, wrestle somebody in Poland that she's never seen before. She has to be ready for all these different people that she doesn't have time to study all of them, right? That's how on top of her game Mercedes is.
She is not infallible, though.
But
Nobody's
that we can agree on.
Yes,
well,
nobody's infallible.
Getting existential.
Yeah.
But I think I've got to agree with Brian on this because it's so easy to pin on Mercedes, the glitz, the glam, you know, all of the fancy things that come with that. But she just loves this business. She loves being in this ring. So to think that she's not going to come into this, to be still on her A game, as we've seen since she's been in here in AEW and prior, obviously, I think that she's going to be ready.
I think you're both very incorrect. I think she has way too much on her plate. I think this whole 10-title record thing is way out of her grasp. I don't think anyone can do it. It's no offense to her. Riho has been here since the beginning.
Sure.
She is our first ever AEW Women's World Champion. She's seen this division evolve and get so much depth, so much variety, and she knows she's going to have to come into this match with something different.
Okay, so if you are Riho,
I was going to say, he doesn't think anybody can do it, except Ultimo Dragon did it, right? So you're saying, in comparison, Mercedes is not as good as Ultimo Dragon was in 1996.
Is that what you're saying?
I actually think, in comparison to the wrestling landscape, Mercedes Mone in 2025 is better than Ultimo Dragon in 1996.
From the American Dragon, everybody.
One has Sonny Ono and one doesn't. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead, continue. I'm not going to get this heated.
Okay, so you think that Riho's going to be walking away with the TBS Championship tonight?
I think she's the one who could perhaps figure out this combination.
And you're saying hell no?
So, no, I'm not saying hell no. I'm saying I think she has a chance based on what she's been training since she's been gone.
Which is a big asterisk. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
But we don't know, and neither does Mercedes, and that's Riho's opportunity. So this is actually one of the matches that I'm most excited to see, just to see how it plays out, just to see if Riho has developed anything new. I love a good new technique that nobody's seen before, and I would love it if she could pull something out against Mercedes today.
Who else we're going to see if they can pull a little something out? We've got Ricochet with GOA taking on the Hurt Syndicate. This has been coming to a head for some time here in AEW. Now this afternoon, finally at All Out, we will see who the winner is going to be. Let's talk Ricochet here because he has essentially been a thorn in the side for Hurt Syndicate for quite a while now. I mean, you look at Ricochet and Gates of Agony, GOA, they were the guys that got in the way from the Hurt Syndicate having their titles at Forbidden Door. I mean, it's been this ongoing situation of even when MVP is trying to scout out who's going to be a part of Hurt Syndicate. And I think that that was a moment that really kind of burned Ricochet to not be involved from that aspect. But this version of Ricochet, you've known him for quite a while. Do you think he's just caught up in too much of, like, the BS?
No, I actually think this is the best version of Ricochet that I've ever seen. I mean, I've known this guy since 2005, maybe, is when I first saw him, and you'd see him, and he's just this incredible athlete that can do things that nobody else could do. But what he needed was something to just burn into his brain, where it's like, okay, my athletic ability is not enough. I need to take the aggression to the next level. Now, sometimes I think he's overstepped it, you know, but...
I could do without the laugh, that's for sure.
Well, I think...
Commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, now you guys agree. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
We want to sell some merch.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to destroy the planet with every single
That's been your
t-shirt.
MO for some time.
Yeah.
You do love that.
I will say this. The Hurt Syndicate does not play well with others. They had the big falling out with MJF. They lost their titles without even being pinned. Ricochet is a petty, petty man, and that's what's guiding this whole thing. And now the Hurt Syndicate will really have to function as a unit.
Isn't MVP a real petty guy, too? Like,
Classic gentleman.
But I think actually MVP, despite him being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think he is going to be the weak link in the Hurt Syndicate for this match.
Ooh.
Because
Yeah.
you look at GOA and Ricochet, and it's like all three of them are in their primes. They're all incredible athletes. And you look at Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, and I look at those guys and I'm like, who's going to beat these guys?
Yeah.
Which is why it was such a shame that they lost the Tag Team Championship.
Yeah.
But then you've got MVP in the match. And now MVP, he's incredible technically, but he's got a lot of injuries. You put Toa in there with MVP, I think Toa beats him. I think that's the matchup that GOA and Ricochet need for this trios match.
But that in mind, yes, we don't know exactly physically MVP when he's coming into this match, but we do know that this is a man that has been around this business for a long time. He is a smart man. He is a business-minded man. I'm sure he's got some other stuff.
Well, I mean, he's going to have a game plan, for sure. He for sure will have a game plan. But if they could isolate MVP, and by them I mean GOA and Ricochet, if they can isolate MVP, I think they've got a good shot of winning this match.
Who do you think's going to win?
I like pettiness. I'm going to pick Ricochet and GOA.
Keep the pettiness alive. Well, that is all happening this afternoon, live on pay-per-view, AEW, All Out. And now let's hear from our sponsors, DraftKings. Take it away, guys.
Action. When you think of Tony Storm, you think of at least 3 things that you can't mention in public. And after that, you think about winning and winning big. If you would like a chance to do the same, minus the thighs, then let me introduce you to DraftKings. Funny, I used to be called Breeze Queen. DraftKings has an exclusive offer for all you sicko wrestling fans. All you have to do is download the app and enter the promo code when you sign up. DraftKings. The crown is yours. Unless I want it to.
As much as I'd love to hear from Timeless Tony Storm, we had to bring in the pros, the heavy hitters from DraftKings. Steve Buchanan, how are you?
Great to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
This is your first time in Canada, yeah?
It most certainly is. It was an adventure, but we're here. We're in the ring. We're here at 0 Hour doing it.
We feel good.
We feel good.
Okay, so we got to hear from Timeless Tony Storm. Steve is here to break things down. For somebody that hasn't been able to participate in DraftKings, how do we get involved in the action?
Yeah, if you are brand new to DraftKings, what you want to do is you want to download the DraftKings app, use promo code AEW when you sign up, and we invite you to use the pool that we're going to be doing. You can answer some of the questions about 2 high-profile matchups, FTR, Cope and Christian Cage, and of course, Kyle Fletcher, Hangman Adam Page.
What questions do I have to deal with?
So there is a bevy of questions that you're going to be answering. Yes. One of my personal favorites, will a non-participant interfere in this matchup? When you start thinking about the laundry list of people that could be involved, there are a lot of options. You have Killswitch, you have Kip Sabian, Stokely's probably going to be milling around the ring doing something weird. Could get involved too as well. So when you think about that, I think there's a lot of opportunities for somebody to get involved. So I would say yes to that question.
Now, when we're looking at this friendship, the relationship between Cope and Christian, is that something that's going to kind of come into play with these guys as well?
Yeah, that's one of the questions. Will these two still be a tag team by the time this match is over? And it's an interesting question. The relationship between these two has been extremely rocky. There's been a lot of bumps in the road. That's a wonderful word. But right now, they have a mutual bond that they both want to take down FTR. They both have some beef with this team. I think they can coexist, at least for now, until that final bell rings.
Got to be on the same team by the end of the night, yeah?
I guess they do have to face people who are in complete lockstep, that being FTR. They are a solid, if not hostile, unit.
Well, I was going to say, not only are they lockstep, they're very angry individuals.
They are angry.
Do you have it in there of maybe Dax Harwood fighting a fan? Is that an option?
I mean, that should have been an option. That might, lawsuits and everything. We don't want to get involved in that.
No.
One of the options you can do is, will any participant go through a table? No real analysis here. As much as you want to call me an expert, I don't think I can really analyze that. Let's just take a shot in the dark here. We'll say Dax Harwood maybe trying to get enticed with the fan or something. He ends up going through a table.
I would love to see it.
I would like to get your expert knowledge on Hangman Adam Page, our world champion, versus the TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions for this one here, and one of them that I personally like is, how many dead eyes will Hangman Adam Page successively hit on Kyle Fletcher? If you remember, just a couple months ago, they fought during the Owen Hart Memorial Cup there, and that was a very tough battle. In that matchup, Hangman Adam Page got 2 of them on Kyle Fletcher. Now the stakes are even higher than they were in that matchup. It's going to take a lot to put Kyle Fletcher away, who's on quite the run right now. I'm going with at least 3 dead eyes in this matchup.
Do you have like spreadsheets and stuff out on your computer? Like, are you like constantly digging through all this stuff to kind of get some more analysis as you're looking at all the DraftKings things? Because this is like, you're deep in there.
Here's the beautiful thing. You guys invite me here. I have to bring the A game because I want the people to win. There's 10K in prizes up for grabs here. I can't be giving these shoddy answers. I got to give good, hard analysis.
I like it.
Give them the inside edge and the Don Callis factor.
Oh, my God. So, if I'm not mistaken, the Don Callis family is barred from ringside during this matchup. That doesn't mean Don Callis is going to be in the back, probably like drooling all over the curtain, waiting for his opportunity to come out here. I don't know how he's going to do it, but you can't tell me that Don Callis isn't going to weasel his way out here. The question is, will he get tossed by the ref? He will make his way out here somehow. Hopefully the ref can restore some order, get Don Callis out of here, because let's be honest, nobody likes
Hit the
Don
bricks.
Callis.
Nobody needs the self-tanner on them. Get out of here. Okay, let's break this down one more time. 4 people to win. What do they get? How do they participate? Send the people home.
Of course, if you want to get in on the action here, you want to download the DraftKings app, use promo code AEW. When you sign up, once again, you're going to get some free bets when you wager $5, but enter this AEW free-to-play pool. 10K in prizes are up for grabs here. Have a little extra skin in the game while you watch this unbelievable event that's coming your way today.
An unbelievable event. The AEW World Championship is on the line. Can Kyle Fletcher be the man to dethrone the Cowboy?
I am the All Elite Wrestling Men's World Champion!
That championship belongs to me.
The Protostar runs AEW. I see myself 6 years ago dreaming and hoping to be a world champion. You are not ready. If you want to be someone who can carry this company for decades, then I will give you a shot at this championship at All Out.
The Protostar is your TNT champion, and that is not going to change.
If Don or any other member of the Don Callis family gets involved, you would be stripped of the TNT championship.
I am scared of nothing.
I need you to leave the Don Callis family behind you. I need you to earn it.
Time to finally end this.
I believe you when you tell me that you will give me everything that you have, but it will not be enough.
At All Out, I fulfill my destiny when I become the AEW Men's World Champion.
That will be what defines you. Do not disappoint me.
All right, we got to hear from Steve Buchanan. He broke down some of this match a little bit for us, but let's talk the AEW World Championship. We've got Hangman Adam Page taking on Kyle Fletcher, the TNT champion. What does Hangman have to do to hang on to the title tonight? I mean, Kyle Fletcher has so much momentum behind him. Of course, he's a world champion, Hangman. He's got momentum as well, but I just feel like there's something special happening with Kyle Fletcher right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Kyle Fletcher is, for 26 years old.
Crazy.
And, you know, 2 weeks in a row, he took out Kenny Omega. He nearly took out Hangman. I'm surprised Hangman's actually able to even wrestle this match. Everybody looks at Kyle Fletcher right now, myself included, as a future world champion.
Yeah.
The big question is that future world champion, does that happen today?
Right, and look, it's got to start at some point. Whether it starts now, whether it starts a year from now, I think that we are going to see Kyle Fletcher have that world championship around his waist a lot for the next 10 years. He's 26.
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
It's insane to imagine what this guy is capable of.
He's already the TNT champion, Kyle Fletcher, and it's great. It's amazing that he won it. He needs to focus on that. Don Callis is playing Risk with AEW. He's trying to take everything over, title by title. Obviously, Josh and Hechicero are in the four-way ladder match, too. And we already have the unified champion in Okada. I think he's trying to put too much on his plate. I don't think Kyle Fletcher is ready to do this.
Oh, I disagree 100%. Okay, I got in the ring with Kyle Fletcher, right? In 2024, early in 2024, I got in the ring with Kyle Fletcher. I could not believe how strong, how agile he was.
He looks like a freak.
But mentally,
in a good way.
He wasn't there yet. Now, and especially with more time with Don, I don't like Don Callis as a human being, but Kyle Fletcher has upped the aggression so much, and with his athletic ability, with his age, with his strength, I mean, I just look at him and I kind of, in my head, when I watch him, I think his time is right now.
I think this is really rich, coming from the guy who could not beat Jon Moxley, and Hangman, after 9 long months, was the guy who finally did. I think that is the aggression you need, that Hangman has, that will cause him to beat Kyle Fletcher.
So I agree that he needs that same aggression that he had against Moxley in this match against Kyle Fletcher, but I don't think that Hangman's body can match up to that aggression right now, because he's had that title now since July, and he's out here every week, right? I mean, he's wrestling almost every week. He's not a champion who just rests on his laurels, who doesn't want to wrestle, right? I mean, he's putting a lot out there every single week.
But let's go back to the emotional side of it, because I feel like Hangman is his best when he's emotionally locked. And we know physically where he's at. We know he's in the building. He's ready for the fight. But emotionally, that seems to be the thing that pushes him to the next level in his matches.
I have no doubt that Hangman will be mentally and emotionally ready for this match. What I worry about after what happened on Dynamite is whether he's ready physically. And I think Kyle Fletcher is physically at 100%, and mentally he will also be at 100%, and he will have Don Callis behind him, guiding him in the way that to where he could win the world championship.
Let me say this. You've come up in the business. You've seen a lot of guys who were athletic specimens, filled their heads with the big potential word, and they were very young, and they all burnt themselves out.
Not all of them, right? And so, and this is the thing. There's always going to be exceptions. Look at Randy Orton, who is the youngest WWE champion in history, right? And here he is still. He's still competing at a super high level. And I think when I look at Kyle Fletcher and the way that he's performing, he is not performing stupidly, right? He gets in the ring, and what he does is so smart. And he's not wrestling in a way where he's going to burn himself out in 4 years.
Oh yeah, that cage match with Ospreay, he didn't burn himself out.
No,
he's taking risks. He can be gotten to.
Yeah, but he's also taking time to learn how to do the in-between things, how to just beat somebody down without taking any risks on his own, grounding a guy on the mat and just beating him to a pulp. He's gotten really good at that, where I would say 2 years ago, I would have agreed with you.
He's grown
today
so much in the last couple of years.
I don't think he's burning himself out. And I think if he wins the title tonight, I think he holds it for a long time.
The AEW Unified Championship is on the line in a 3-way matchup. We've got the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, versus Takeshita versus Mascara Dorada.
The AEW Unified Championship tournament beginning.
Who will be heading into All Out Toronto to be vying for this AEW Unified Championship?
Takeshita,
handpicked by Don Callis, won the G1 Climax. Just a taste of what he's capable of.
Mascara Dorada, the athleticism.
He is a human highlight reel.
Okada.
I'm beating the best in the world to hold this title. I'm the best tournament wrestler alive. The Rainmaker is the top dog in the Don Callis family.
Don come out with Okada when Takeshita is also going to be in the match.
Whoa, whoa! Dorada, Takeshita, Okada. This is a match that could have global implications.
Whatever it takes.
Bitch.
I cannot wait for this match. We've been seeing the tension build so much between Okada and Takeshita. You got to imagine that Don Callis has a pretty heavy lift this afternoon with All Out. He's got a lot of players in the game.
Yeah, and one of the things Don Callis does best is prep his guys for these big matches, right? I would be very interested in how he is prepping Okada and how he is prepping Takeshita. for this match, because I mean that's a tricky situation, and that's where I think Mascara Dorada could have a real opportunity in this match.
Let me say this about Okada. It comes with an asterisk about him being one of Don Callis' guys. He's got 1 foot in, he's got 1 foot out.
Fair.
He's also a member of the elite. He's sort of a gun for hire, a gold collector for hire. I think as much as he is with Don Callis right now, he keeps a lot to himself. And I think he's got perhaps an edge in that regard. I also wonder about Don Callis' loyalty. Is he giving both of them the same advice? Is he telling each one how to beat the other and saying to hell with it?
Maybe this is one of those things where he's just going to let those guys fight it out, and whoever wins this match, that's going to be his guy, right? And I think, you know, Okada's not dumb. Takeshita's not dumb, right? They each know what Don Callis is, but they each know that Don Callis can help them.
Okay, break down a little bit more of what Takeshita has been doing leading up to this match. I mean, we see the tension, we see everything, we see him ready to step up into that spotlight. But what he accomplished in the G1 this year.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
Unreal.
Unbelievable, but that's one of the things that where I worry about him for this particular match, because the G1 wasn't that long ago, and I can tell in the way that he wrestles right now that he is not, he's a little bit beat up still from the G1. I mean, that's a very physically demanding tournament, and he went all the way through, won the G1, and now he's in here going for the unified title. I think, you know, it's going to be a little bit of a tough task for Takeshita if he wants to win this match.
Mascara Dorada in this match. This is a 3-way matchup. What is this wild card going to add into this 3-way match?
So much. He's very smooth in a way that I don't think either Takeshita or Okada are ready for. He did a fantastic job against Beast Mortos, which surprised me, certainly. And I think, I mean, what is his strategy here? Maybe let Takeshita and Okada just take themselves out and be fresh enough to score a pin.
That's the hard thing with these multi-person matches, where the champ, I think if you put Okada one-on-one with either of these men right now, Okada wins. Against Takeshita, because Takeshita is beat up. I think the size difference against Mascara Dorada, and also because Okada trained a lot in Mexico, so he's very aware of that style. But I think in a triple threat match like this, in a 3-way match where he doesn't have to be pinned, I think the odds for me are Mascara Dorada.
I'm gonna agree.
Yeah,
we agree. Well, look at this. No, we're not high-fiving. We're not high-fiving. We're gentlemen. We're not 8 years old. That was in high school. I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Come on! You guys are idiots. This is what I've signed up for. Moving on to more nonsense. I mean, this has been an absolute blood feud between MJF and Mark Briscoe. This afternoon, we find out exactly how this is going to go in a tables and thumbtacks match.
You wanna know how much I hate you, man? You distracted me at Forbidden Door. You cost me my world title, so I cost you a shot at yours. Oh my God, it's MJF! He just got married last night. What the hell is he doing here? My newlywed wife, she screams out to me, "Where are you going? What about our honeymoon?" No honeymoon can start until Mark Briscoe is dead.
MJF, he's made this match deeply personal.
MJF! You brought my brother's name forth? No one will ever respect you as much as your brother Jay. You brought it forth again! It shouldn't have been me in that accident. It should have been you. Shame on me if I don't obliterate your ass! Listen to me, you white trash piece of... You name the time, you name the stipulation. You done messed up, pretty boy. The place is at all out.
No, my mind's crazy the way my brain works. There's so many thoughts and ideas in my head, but I think I got an idea. TNT match, tables and thumbtacks.
This is out of control. No, those are the tacks.
I never did give you my wedding present.
Think what it's gonna do to MJF's movie idol looks.
I won out of this tables and tacks match. I hope that you are so happy when there is another Briscoe in the dirt, and it is on you!
Rest
the sword. You have signed your own death warrant, son.
Briscoe more than happy to keep pouring on the punishment, given the words hurled at Briscoe by MJF.
It should have been you.
Mascot Mark, just because you sound serious doesn't mean I have to take you seriously.
Blue collar will bust, and white collar will win.
Tables and thumbtacks.
I'm gonna give you the same answer I gave on my wedding night.
I do! My God! I do.
That means you have ensured yourself an uninterrupted ass whooping, the likes of which you've never experienced before.
This could arguably be the messiest match of the night. I mean, we see the lengths that MJF is willing to go to walk away the winner of absolutely anything that he can get his hands on. But he has been tormenting Mark Briscoe for some time. We know that MJF has his wheels spinning. Where's Mark's head at?
I'm sorry. I think it's the other way around.
Okay.
I think Mark Briscoe has been tormenting MJF.
What?
Forbidden Door, wrestled Hangman, seemed to have it all in the bag. Victory was his. The belt was MJF's again. And then Mark Briscoe had to come out.
He tried to light the man on fire.
These things happen.
Yeah, I mean, my perception of MJF, and this is having wrestled him for over an hour, is that he does not like pain. Mark Briscoe, I'm not saying that he likes pain. I just think he's ambivalent to it.
He can endure it maybe a little better.
No, he doesn't even think about it.
Oh.
Like, I think, you know, you see Mark Briscoe get hit, and it's like, and he doesn't, it doesn't register with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been in these kind of situations before, whereas I think MJF is going to avoid, just like me. I hate tacks. Your husband would throw tacks in the ring, and I'd just be like, why did you do that? And MJF and there's nothing wrong with that, except he's in a match called Tables and Thumbtacks. Yeah. He's going to be in the ring with thumbtacks. Do you think MJF wants to do that? Of course not, right? This is a match that is built for somebody like Mark Briscoe.
I've never been thrown through a table, nor have I landed on a thumbtack. Which is worse?
Okay, so for overall damage, going through the table.
Okay.
But bad things can happen with thumbtacks. We were in an Anarchy in the Arena match, the BCC against the Elite. The Young Bucks went to Superkick, and Matt Jackson's foot went into the thumbtacks. Now, the head of the thumbtack came off, and the thumbtack was lodged in his foot, and they couldn't get it out. It's like all of those types of things that can happen in these situations, and it's like, okay, who do you think handles that situation better, Mark Briscoe or MJF?
Briscoe.
Here's why your analogy is quite stupid. Is because, like, if we were playing basketball and you didn't care that I scored on you, you got to play a little defense. MJF is playing defense. That's the important thing. I think Mark Briscoe's embracing of the pain makes him a little more susceptible to losing this match.
Well, listen, someone's going through some tables, someone's going through some tacks. That is happening regardless here tonight in Toronto. But let's talk Big Bill versus a returning Eddie Kingston. I cannot wait to see Eddie Kingston in a back kick. Do you think that Big Bill chewed off a little bit more by calling out Eddie?
No, I really like him calling out Eddie. If he knew Eddie was ready, this is Eddie's first match back after the injury.
Get his ass out the door.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like, okay, let's see if I can build my name off of Eddie Kingston in his first match back. I actually like this strategy from Big Bill, but these are two guys that I like a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, Eddie Kingston and I used to have a lot of differences. I've grown to respect Eddie Kingston a great deal. Same thing with me and Big Bill. I used to have issues with Big Bill, and I've grown to respect them a lot. They've both gone through some mental health issues and have been very open about it. I think that's very helpful for our fan base, for society in general. And this is actually this is the match that I can't wait to see, because I'm excited. I love what Eddie Kingston brings to the table. I love what Big Bill brings to the table. I think this is not going to be a wrestling match. This is going to be a fight, and I don't imagine it's going to last long.
Brawl.
Yeah.
The last last time we heard from Eddie Kingston, it was before you wrestled Swerve at Wembley. And he was sitting on his couch, and he was calm, cool, and collected, and he told you to get your head together. And now it feels like the shoe was on the other foot. He's accepted this match on Threads, which was an odd choice. I'm surprised. It's like Tout. His Instagram stories are all over the place. I think he is a little rattled. I think it was a great move by Big Bill to step up, and I don't know how Eddie is going to react to this.
How about that? We agreed on something again.
I love it. You know what? This is a real kumbaya moment that we're all happening.
Yeah, let's get rid of the tribalism, different disagreements.
Just talk a little wrestling and have a nice time. I'll tell you who's not going to be having a nice time tonight, though. Brodito. They are putting their AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line in a four-way match in a ladder match. Ladder matches are so terrifying, so dangerous, so scary to watch. But now to have 8 men, 4 teams, Brodito hanging on to their gold, new champions, have not even had the titles for that long, but they have got a tall order going up against the Bucks, going up against Jet Speed, going up against Hechicero and Josh Alexander. Do you think that there's a favorite team in a match like this?
You know, I was all set to put my money on Jet Speed.
Yeah.
I love how they've been working together as a team. They weren't initially supposed to be, and then they gelled together. And of course, Mike Bailey being Canadian, being French-Canadian on top of that is a little nuts. So he was the favorite. And then I just realized he's going to have to climb the ladder barefoot.
You're thinking of your own feet.
Yes.
And you've got very delicate feet.
Yeah, they're soft foot.
This is the time nor the place.
That's what they call them, soft foot.
Whereas Mike Bailey comes out here, wrestles barefoot every week. He's
That's a calloused foot.
That's a calloused foot.
Foot of stone, Mike Bailey.
It's a foot of stone, Mike Bailey. But I actually think that the champions are the favorites here. And here's the reason why. Bandito is so athletic. He can climb up the ladder. And then Brody, from a strategic point of view, can guard the ladder. And are any of these guys in this match? I mean, the 2 other biggest guys in the match, Hechicero and Josh Alexander, I don't think either of them can go toe-to-toe, like in a brawl, with Brody King here.
No, that's fair.
And so that's where I think Brody King and Bandito have the advantage here.
Let's not forget the Young Bucks are in this match. I mean, I feel like a match like this must favor them. I mean, to be in a ladder match, tag team specialists, I feel like they bring a lot to the table. I mean, they got all their money back now. They're feeling good, flying high.
I don't think they're mentally there. I just don't think they are. Like, we saw a couple...
rock bottom.
Yeah, we saw a couple weeks ago how desperate they were to get that money, right? And all it took for them to, okay, I got to get ready for this thing, is Mox telling them that they could have the full $500,000 in that match, right? And I don't think that they're there at a point that they were when they were at their best. Like, if this is peak Young Bucks, peak mental Young Bucks, I think they're the favorites for this match. But I think they're in their peak physically. I mean, you look at them, they look great, but mentally they're all over the place.
I mean, Nick can't even win against the one-armed bandit. I think this is matches. It's about risk and reward, and I don't think they're in that place right now.
Okay, well, listen, we are minutes away from going live on pay-per-view. We have been talking all the matches that are set to unfold this afternoon. You guys don't want to miss any of this. Remind people how they're able to watch in the United States.
Okay, if you're in the United States this afternoon, you can watch All Out for the first time ever on HBO Max, also Prime Video, YouTube, PPV.com, in-demand traditional cable satellite providers, and Dave & Buster's.
You've heard us do it enough. Do you want to do my part?
No.
Okay, internationally, you guys can watch on PPV.com, YouTube.com, as well as Amazon Prime. Now, a reminder of what is set to come in just mere moments. Let's take a little look as a little reminder here. Hangman Adam Page, the AEW World Champion, puts his title on the line against Kyle Fletcher. We could possibly see a new champ.
And then there is no phlegm, but there is some coughing. It is Darby Allin against Jon Moxley in a coffin match.
terrible. The AEW Women's World Championship on the line in a four-way matchup. Timeless Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Tekla.
4 teams are going to have to climb that ladder and grab those tag team titles. Will it be Brodito, Jet Speed, the Bucks, or Josh Alexander and Hechicera?
Eddie Kingston is back. He is in the ring, out of action for well over a year. He takes on Big Bill this afternoon in Toronto.
And then for the AEW Unified Championship, Kazuchika Okada takes on Don Callis member Takeshita and Mascara Dorada.
We've got Ricochet in GOA versus the Hurt Syndicate. This has been coming to a head for some time this afternoon. It all goes down.
And then for the TBS Championship, the CEO Mercedes Mone takes on our first ever Women's World Champion in Riho.
And a blood feud goes down in the form of a tables and thumbtacks match. It is MJF versus Mark Briscoe.
And then all of Toronto will be firmly on the side of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage as they reunite to take on FTR.
It's all happening in mere moments. We'll be live on pay-per-view. You guys do not want to miss any of this action. Brian, what's the match you want to see the most?
Actually, it's the AEW Men's World Championship match. Hangman Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher. Can Kyle Fletcher at 26 years old win the World Championship? I don't know.
We'll find out.
I'm worried about all the wrestlers.